Hi cuties. So, I'm not gonna lie, 2024 has been stressing me out with the fantastic indie releases. I mean, just today, Animal Well released with rave reviews, which is from Donkey's publisher, by the way. We got Little Kitty Big City, which is just a cuter take on Stray. Crow Country is a seemingly incredible Resident Evil / Final Fantasy VII inspired survival horror game, and just, what a terrible feeling knowing you can't just sit in a fucking hyperbolic time chamber and simultaneously experience all of these games at once, dog. Anyways, I'd like to take a few minutes out of that chunk of time from y'all to just review a demo for an incredibly promising, super creative indie title that I've been excited for quite some time now, Holstin. Holstin is an indie game that you might have seen before because it was kind of going viral as hell a few months back due to the whole unique premise of it being a isometric / third-person survival horror game. They recently released a demo with 2 different modes, and I figured, fuck it, let's get some Jack the Ripper reviews in this motherfucker. Alright, so before we dive balls deep into the demo's actual gameplay segments, let me lay the setting for the unaware homies. Basically, this game is created by Sonka, and I don't know if it's a team or maybe one person, but I did join the Discord and it looks like it's just this man, so shout out to you, pimp. Holstin ironically takes place in the 90s, which is also the time period it takes inspiration from with the survival horror gameplay. The setting is also in Eastern Poland, by the way. As soon as you launch the demo, you have access to 2 different scenarios as of right now. That is because there is a third option allegedly dropping sometime this year. But let's talk about scenario 1 for now, the Janowski house. You start off in a small, cube-looking ass room, and the first notes you read summarizes the plot. You've come to this village in Poland to find the homie Bartek and bring him home. There's a woman at the phone by the door named Anita, who was honestly tripping the fuck out being a meaniehead to the protagonist, but at least she's sane, unlike the other characters, but we'll talk about them when we get there. Interestingly enough, the note also contains a message about how, despite what's in this short section is canon, none of the gameplay will be the same as it's still missing different functions, and I'm assuming they still need time to spice it up more, which is honestly fire because I hate playing a demo and then have it be the exact same thing when it drops. I don't know why. So as you can see, it's an isometric pixel art game, but with the bumpers, you can spin the camera around to fully investigate your environments and reveal shit that you might have missed if you looked at it in a separate angle. I played this on my Steam Deck because that's my baby, and on the low graphical setting, I was averaging around 40 FPS, which honestly is perfectly fine because this game doesn't need 240 frames per second like an esports title or some shit. It's kind of the case that I had for Dave the Diver. The gameplay and art style overtook the lack of frameage, if you will. The shadows here are super impressive. Add that with the hand-drawn pixel art and boom, you got a delicious concoction bred for survival horror perfection, bitch. As you make your way through the house, you'll see the hentai-inspired tentacles all over the place. I'm assuming this is what makes the town all loopy and cray-cray, and will be the main driver for the zombies' actions and shite. In the Steam description, they speak on the fact that since everyone is delirious, the protagonist will have to use that to his advantage. And in the demo, they show that by having this weird-ass kid who's able to teleport throughout the house for some reason, and you lie to him and convince him that you're a family member to gain his help for the puzzles. Puzzle-wise, I would compare this more to Resident Evil rather than Silent Hill, as it's mainly finding items through playing with the light sources. These freaky-ass hentai tentacles hate light, and because of that, you'll switch light bulbs into different lamps and tinker with the fuse box to change sections of the house's lighting conditions until you meet this crazy-ass woman who's just yapping about her thingamabobs and whatchamacallits. Once you solve all the puzzles, you gain access to the shotgun, and then you blow a lock off of a door that brings you to the basement. And that's really the end of that section of the demo. A small, yet delicious taste of what's to come. Sorta like a California roll. Sorry, anyways, a really promising showcase for the puzzle sections of the game, something that I consider to be a vital part of a survival horror video game. Holstin's got the essence of the classics down to a T, but with a fresh spin on the camera angles. Get it? Spin? Because you press the bumpers and spin the camera. Demo section 2, the tunnel. Now, this is what I'm sure a lot of you will actually be intrigued with, as this is the combat mechanics showcase. It's a roguelike side mode, and it reminds me a lot of the 4th survivor scenario in the Resident Evil 2 remake where you play as the other hunk in that game, Hunk. Anyways, you must progress through the tunnel, and each chunk of it is separated by locked gates, and you're just trying to go as far into it as you can, but it's hard as fuck because these freak ass boys start jumping your ass, and it gets more and more difficult as you go along. You're equipped with an AK, shotgun, pistol, and Molotovs. Enemies that have keys indicated over their heads will obviously drop keys, and they're for safe rooms essentially, where you can catch a breather, smoke some of that stank herb, and get ammo and such. When I say catch a breather, I wasn't just being silly too. There's actually a stamina bar in this game. Certain actions such as kicking, dodging, and even shooting will deplete your energy, so you actually gotta be wary instead of spraying and praying. I'm gonna be honest though, y'all, I'm not sure how much I like this feature because I can't really think of one game where I really enjoyed losing stamina for shooting. Honestly, it really just gets in the way, but perhaps I'm being a crybaby bitch, or mayhaps it'll be better implemented in the full release. Let me know what y'all think down below though. Do you think games can benefit from a little huffing and puffing action after shooting? Give me your thoughts. The biggest draw for the gunplay is obviously the super unique switching of camera angles, where that shit go from Disco Elysium swag to Resident Evil 4 swag real quick, and it's what initially got me super enthralled to check the game out in the first place. I am happy to report it is super smooth with fair recoil that has a learning curve and is just super fucking fun to play with. The enemies you're blasting to bacon bits get their respective limbs blown off when shot at, and some of them have these weird fucking barnacle ass growth cyst thingies on them, and some even do this freak ass porcupine attack that I can only describe as pufferfish like. Remember the Resident Evil wiggle the thumbstick when being grabbed minigame? In this one, they got the damn Helldivers Stratagem D-pad button mashing minigame, and that shit is so stress inducing during combat. I love it. Like I said, the tunnel is pretty hard, and I think the longest I was able to go is like 230 meters because I was raging after sweating my balls off at it, but I recommend you guys download the demo to check it out because it's a fun ass chunk of gameplay for only being just a demo. And that's Holstin, a super promising survival horror game that's bending what we thought was possible in the space by having classic yet modern features in it, and I'm hella excited for the full release. Here's hoping it comes in 2024 because indies are really carrying this year if you ask me. Y'all should go wishlist this game on Steam if you're interested, and let's help it break into the top 100 because it really deserves the love and praise if you ask me, Jack the Ripper. But yeah, that's about it, my yummies. Drop a Molotov on the like button, maybe smoke some herb on the subscribe, and I love you guys.
Bye.